Hey guys, come here. Do you want to win this E-Ride Pro? Well, if you go buy one of these brand new Talaria Boys hoodies, you're gonna get 8,000 extra bonus points. So go get entered right now. Click that link down in the video description.
This is the brand new 79 bike Falcon Pro. We on this channel, the Talaria Boys, are not new to the 79 bike brand. We previously reviewed and owned the Falcon M. That was the model before this one. A lot of the features and frame and specs on the M are the same as the Pro, but the Pro now has a lot of Pro features. So let's get into what those are and review this new bike. All right guys, here we go on the Falcon Pro. To start off this review, let's talk about 79 bike as a company really quick and their backstory. So the first 79 bike model, the Falcon M, came out a little over a year ago. We got that bike for review. We ended up keeping that bike for like 8 months. Really was a blast to ride, and it was a direct competitor to the Talaria Sting R at the time. They were priced very, very similarly. They had the same power rating. They had very similar sized batteries. The Talaria being just ever so slightly bigger in the battery capacity. And both bikes were very similar in weight. The Talaria being a little bit heavier. And so for us, it was a hard decision which one we would rather have. You know, it kind of just came down to personal preference at that time. And now we have the Falcon Pro. So this is the same frame as the previous model, a lot of the same components. Now we have more power and a few key differences. And one of the awesome things about this bike is it is now even less expensive than the Falcon M was. I think it's time to go over the specs of this bike. Coming in at a price point of $4,000, I think this bike has some pretty incredible value. Starting off with our big specs, we're rocking 10 kilowatts of power, 72 volt, 35 amp hour battery, and then let's get into some of our quirks and features here. So this bike has kind of a lot going on up here that looks really nice. When you turn the bike on, the display fires up, and as you can see, we have a kilowatt rating on the side that changes depending on how much power you're actually pulling. On the right, we have our park, which you can put into neutral, and then modes Eco, Drive, and Sport. Now, each of these have very different throttle feels, Sport obviously being the most aggressive, the most torquey, highest power. On the left here, you can change your mode button. With this, we have high beam and low beam, and you can turn the headlight off, and it is actually a very bright headlight, so I'm excited to see that. That was quick, you guys. Okay, we're gonna keep going here. Over here, we can change our odometer and our trip to reset on each ride, and we have reverse. So if I actually pop the kickstand up here, if I'm in drive here and I hold the reverse button, it's gonna start beeping, and we can just go in reverse. Just super cool. Then if you just let off the button, it stops, it goes back into whatever mode you were in previously. Right here, we also have the horn. And we have our left turn signal and our right turn signal here on our back tail light. Along with using just the normal key to turn it on, we have an NFC key, so come check this out. So watch this, I can just take this key out, take my NFC key, hold it on there, and the bike fires right up. Now, I can literally go and use this one to turn it on and turn it back off, and it doesn't turn off because you turn it on with the NFC. I can go and just turn that back off. And if I want to use my key again, pop it in there, turn it on, bike turns back on.
Did you guys know that right now in the month of January, we are doing a giveaway for a brand new E-Ride Pro SS 3.0. Everyone in the continuous USA is eligible to enter, and all you have to do for free is go click the link down in the video description, head on over to tbelectricmoto.com, and right here you can input all of your info and you will be entered. And if you guys want bonus entries, go pick up some brand new Talaria Boys merch. We have shirts, hats, and hoodies. Thanks for entering. Hit that subscribe button to be notified, and let's get back to the video.
Time for a
top speed run on the 79 bike Falcon Pro. We have our GPS right here where we'll really be able to know our speed. Here we have our display. We're in neutral. Let's pop it into drive here, and we're going to be ripping in sport. We are at 87% battery. I weigh 190 pounds and I'm 6'3". Here we go. There's 50, 53, come on, 53. All right, that's all she would do. It really just hit some kind of RPM limit right there. All right, we made it back from our top speed run. Let's see what we hit on our GPS. You guys saw on the screen we hit like 53.5, and it just was a hard limit. It wouldn't go any faster, even on a downhill. So on here, we are at 48.6 miles an hour. So our display was reading fast by about 5 miles an hour. I don't love that. I hate when companies make the display, it makes you feel like you're going faster than you actually are in reality. We use this to test all of our bikes and it is always accurate. So 48.6 is the top speed of the 79 bike. I think it could go faster if we geared it down, if we did a smaller rear sprocket. All right, let's talk about the power of this bike next. So they rate this bike at 10 kilowatts peak power, up from the previous model of 8 kilowatts. I think what's interesting is that if you watch the kilowatt reading on the display, it pulls more than 10 kilowatts a lot of the time. Like I've seen like up to like 12.5 kilowatts. So I don't know why that is, or if it actually is doing 12 kilowatts, or if the display just, you know, says it is. Kind of like you guys just saw on the top speed run, this display says it's going faster than the bike actually is. And on some of these passing shots you'll see on this trail ride, I was actually going full speed. Like I was going 47 miles an hour on that dirt road, and I wanted to go faster, but that's all the bike would do, was go, you know, its top speed of 47. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I don't know exactly what this bike is pulling as far as power goes. They say 10, but I've seen 12.5 on the display. And so what we need to do is drag race it against some other models. So later in the video, you guys will see that, and we'll see how this power actually stacks up to the competition. Let's talk about the range of this bike. So it has the same 72 volt 35 amp hour capacity battery as the previous Falcon M. Now that bike we did our official range test on, where we take it out, we run it in eco mode and sport mode at full throttle basically, and we can simulate a comparison between every other bike that we've tested. So you guys can see that video here. If you want to go watch that and get more in-depth info, you can. But I'm just going to jump to the end here and show the stats of range that we got in comparison to every other bike. As you can see in this chart, it's not the best range. And now that this bike has even more power than it previously had, you're going to be able to drain it really, really quickly. So if you're a bigger, heavier guy, you're not going to be able to go as far as some of these other models with bigger batteries. So it's just something to keep in mind if you want to purchase this bike. Time for some drag races. I'm on the Falcon Pro. Reed is on the ETM RTR from Electro & Co. You guys probably recently saw our video. That is 8 kilowatts. This is 10, they say, so let's see how we go. Both weigh about the same. Both full charged. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, wow, holy cow. This is crazy. Whoa, he was right there. How crazy is that? Is that faster than you thought? You were right there. Reed's like just a few pounds lighter than me, but not that much.
Race mode or whatever?
I'm in the highest. I'm in sport. It's got eco, daily, and sport. Wow. Well guys, I gotta say that drag race is not gonna bode well for our future drag races, because that's the slowest bike we're racing and I only just barely beat you.
Remember when all of our bikes used to be slower than this one?
I know. Bikes have gotten so fast nowadays. It's crazy.
Not very long ago.
Okay, so now what are we racing, Reed? What do you got here?
This is the Talaria Sting MX-5. Stock power, stock tires.
It's got a few modifications, but nothing that's gonna mess with a drag race. Time for drag race number 2. I'm still on the Falcon Pro. Reed's on the MX-5, but he's gonna run it in sport mode, not hyper, and let's see how we go. You ready, Reed?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go! Okay. Okay. All right. Reed in sport, I'm winning. Let's go, baby. We still won with the MX-5 in sport mode. Now we better try it in hyper mode. Time for drag race number 3. Reed's gonna try hyper mode in the MX-5. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, and there he goes. That's hyper mode for you. Oh, he's pulling hard. That's a big difference there. All right. Okay, we got one more drag race for you guys. I'll show you what bike. Time for drag race number 4. Reed's getting off the MX-5 and on the E-Ride Pro SS 3.0. That bike is the most powerful of the bikes today, so it's gonna win. We know that, but let's see by how much. That bike's packing 16 kilowatts. That is a good point. Reed just asked what the price difference is. This bike is $4,000 and that one is $5,000. So that one is 25% more expensive, but does have a lot more power. Let's see how we get on. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, he was riding a wheelie the whole time and he's gone. He is gone. Crazy. And he smoked me. Well, we got smoked again on that one. We knew we would. But those are some drag races with the Falcon Pro. It is faster than the old Falcon M that was 8 kilowatts, but I don't think that much faster, to be honest. It is time to talk about the overall feel of this bike and the suspension. Now, for me, the older 79 bike really lacked good suspension. I just didn't think it felt very good. It was kind of like the really low quality D&M stuff that used to come on a lot of these E-Motos. And now, this has Fast Ace, which I'm very happy to say, because Fast Ace is still a Chinese suspension, but by golly, it feels way better than a lot of the other Chinese suspensions, and it just feels incredibly plush. Front and back, this bike feels well balanced, nice and plush. The tires are very small still. Upgraded tires is definitely a must if you're off-roading this bike. If you're just cruising the streets and doing wheelies and stuff, you know, you're gonna be just fine with these tires, and they are nice and light. So that does, you know, help with the smaller battery and the range that this bike has. This bike weighs 145 pounds, which is super light. It's actually on the lighter end of most E-Motos that are coming out now. The Talaria Sting MX-5 is 170 pounds. The new E-Ride Pro SS 3.0 is 163 pounds. The older Talaria Sting R is over 150 pounds as well. The E-Ride Pro SS 2.0 is very similar in weight to this at about 143, 144 pounds. So this bike is very light for the amount of performance and power that it is packing. So I think a lot of lighter, smaller riders are gonna especially notice that difference in comparison to these other E-Moto models. Let's talk about price. I already mentioned in the specs portion of the video that this bike is $4,000. And I also mentioned that this is a pretty dang good value in my opinion. Let's talk about it in comparison though to all the other models on the market. We have the E-Ride Pro SS 2.0 that is now $4,400. It used to be more expensive, but now there's a latest and the greatest model, the 3.0. That bike is $49.99. Then we have the Talaria Sting MX-5, which is $4,700, right in between the 2.0 and the 3.0. If we go a little bit cheaper than this bike, we have models such as the RAR Mantis X at $3,000. We have the Electro & Co RTR pit bike for about $3,000, and we have the Talaria XXX for about $3,150. If you go up above the $5,000 price point, you got models like the E-Ride Pro SR, the Altis Sigma, and the Sur-Ron Ultra B. You guys may have noticed I didn't even mention a Sur-Ron Lite VX, and that's because I don't think it's worth the money. I think all these other bikes are better than that bike for a stock price point. So then, at $4,000, is this bike a good deal? I think it is a good deal. You're not gonna get the most powerful bike that there is, but you're gonna get a really nice bike with a lot of good features for a good price point. Overall, I really like this bike because it looks really nice. The fit and finish is good. The display is excellent. I like all the modes and everything on this nice little, little panel on the side that you can just click. It just makes the riding experience nicer. Everything just feels a little more high quality and nice when you use it. We'll say the seat is very firm, and I ride a lot. I think this bike handles really well. I do wish they still would have just done a riser bar from the factory. They have a really short direct mount stem and really short bar on there. 79 bike needs to learn a few things from E-Ride Pro, where they just are really adapting with the times and with what people want. That new 3.0 that we're giving away, it comes with a riser bar and a much taller stem from factory. That just makes a big difference, especially when you're tall like I am. I think 79 bike made a lot of good changes to the Falcon M to create this Pro model. It does feel pro in a lot of ways. The aesthetics, the painted colored fenders, this key plate, the display, the new Fast Ace suspension, making it feel and ride really smooth. Where I think they could improve, I'm always gonna be honest in what a company can do better. They need to do a taller riser bar, a taller direct mount stem, and to be quite frank, I'm not a huge fan of the way the throttle modes feel. Between Eco, Drive, and Sport, they just don't feel that great in my opinion. They're kind of like on off, and it makes it so that like later in the throttle you basically have no more to pull. You're pulling it all right in the beginning, and so it makes it really hard to modulate. Drive also has like hardly any torque. So I'm in Drive right now. Watch this. If I am going 4 miles an hour, I'm leaning back, and let me floor it to try to do a wheelie. I couldn't do it. That literally got like 1 inch off the ground. I'm literally leaning way back. Let's see if I can do it at 3 miles an hour. Okay, barely. I barely got it. 6'3", leaning way back. But if I put it in a Sport, which is nice that it's got a lot of torque, but it is like so jumpy. Like I can do my best to wheelie it. But I just got off those little Electro & Co. RTR pit bikes, and I can just hop on that bike having never ridden it and pop it up in a wheelie. And I'm not even good at wheelies. Like, I'm just not that good. I don't know how to wheelie a lot of different bikes, but this throttle just isn't great for it. So to finish off my final thoughts, I think 79 bike did a great job, and for $4,000 you're kind of allowed to complain about a few things because the price point is so good compared to some other bikes. They did do a nice job. Man, this 79 bike has been awesome. Just finished our review on it, riding it, and let's just wrap up our final thoughts. So, this bike at a price point of $4,000, I think is a deal. I think it's some value there. Now, you have to know that you're not getting the most powerful bike on the market, and you're not getting the bike with the biggest battery or the most range, but you are getting a very well fit and finish bike with all the cool fancy display and features and everything. And I think for the price tag of $4 grand, you really can't go wrong. And look at this color. You got silver, you got the reddish, pinkish, whatever color it is. I like it. It doesn't matter what color it is. but it's cool. If you guys are interested in purchasing a 79 bike, go check the link down in the video description. And if you haven't already, hit that dang subscribe button and get entered into our giveaway. You have a huge chance to win a brand new E-Ride Pro, so go click the link down in the video description. It's gonna end soon, so go do it right now. As always, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next video.